Greetings, demons, and welcome to another video discussing the newest Tom Clancy announcement, xDefiant. Now, the last time I spoke about it was at the reveal, and I think I made myself pretty clear. I think it looks generic, Call of Duty-esque, and quite unfortunately, the Call of Duty it most reminds me of is Black Ops 4, which is the game that, on many occasions on this channel, I have mentioned, offhand, that is not only my least favourite Call of Duty game ever, but also I hate it even more because it took me away from my favourite season of Fortnite, meaning that I didn't finish that Battle Pass. So, already, just based on the fact that I'm already connecting it to one of the worst games I've ever played, it doesn't set it up in the greatest light. Now, obviously, I'm someone who enjoys the Tom Clancy series. I have the vast majority of them. My favourite series is actually Splinter Cell, but we know we're never getting a Splinter Cell game again, so I can kind of give up on that. But I am someone who plays a lot of Rainbow Six. Siege, specifically, is one of my favourite tactical shooters. And that's what it is. It's a tactical shooter. No, regardless of what people want to call it, it's a tactical shooter. It's not a twitch shooter. It's not a hero shooter. Sure, you can choose your operator, and each of them have a very specific trait, but I wouldn't call it a hero shooter. What I would call xDefiant, though, is a hero shooter, and a twitch shooter, which is the complete inverse of the game that it essentially is supposed to replace, I suppose, and I'm by no means saying that Ubisoft actually think that Siege is going to be overtaken by xDefiant, but at the end of the day, Siege is designed to be a competitive multiplayer game with PvP. xDefiant is literally the exact same description as I just gave. It's a competitively viable PvP shooter. And that is what it is. At its core, that is exactly what it is. But there's a difference between fitting what you're supposed to be and actually being competent at it. I mentioned that I am a huge fan of Tom Clancy games. And for the most part, that is true. But one thing that I've always hated when Ubisoft does it is when they just rehash ideas that other companies have done in order to just completely undermine the actual series that they're trying to represent. I think that Ghost Recon has kind of experienced this, and while I do quite enjoy playing Wildlands from time to time, I think the fact that it essentially just went, look at all these open world shooters, let's just be like those, kind of ruined the overall experience of both that and Breakpoint. And once again, I don't necessarily think they're bad games, but probably the weakest in the Ghost Recon series, and the Ghost Recon series does not have the best track record, let's just be honest here. xDefiant screams that it was designed by a boardroom. After all, its name is literally internet speak from 2012. I use XD ironically. In fact, just a few days ago in an item shop for Rocket League, I used XD and RAW as a joke. It's ironic. It's not supposed to be something that you actually use to show that it's, edgy and up to date and it's down with the kids. You sound like the Hello Fellow Kids meme when you talk like that legitimately, when you're not being ironic, when you're being completely serious. And this game wants to be taken seriously. It's a twitch shooter. Just like Call of Duty, just like any number of other shooters that have been out in the last decade, or longer for that matter. It wants to be taken seriously. It wants to be a competitive game. It'll have a big push for competitive scene. There'll be plenty of streamers that are huge on CSGO or whatever else that'll be playing this game at launch because they're paid to. And the sad thing is, at least for me, is that I can see potential with this idea. But on every single level, they have squandered that potential. The moment they revealed the title was xDefiant. with the logo specifically pointing out the XD, I realized that this was not going to be a good game. I knew for a fact that it was just going to be something they squeezed out of the Snowdrop engine, threw some half-decent developers at it, which, no fault of the developers, came out as generic as possible. And I say no fault of the developers because I know these developers are capable of making good games. We've witnessed Ubisoft make some really good games with these studios. But this just isn't going to be one of them. And at the end of the day, it's just kind of disappointing to me that I even have to make a video where I'm just kind of complaining about a Tom Clancy game. I've been really excited since reveal for Extraction. I'm really excited to see where that side of Tom Clancy can go. And I'm still waiting for a new Splinter Cell game. But at the end of the day, that's all it is. I'm waiting for something that I want. And xDefiant just isn't that. In any case, that's going to be it for this video. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Hopefully I'll have some Splinter Cell gameplay in the background. If not, it'll just be Siege because I have some of that backed up. But in any case, I'm going to be doing more content on xDefiant over time. It's something that I do want to talk about. And hopefully I'm proven wrong about everything with it. I want it to be fun. I want it to, be the Call of Duty that Call of Duty has not given me for the last 3 years. I want to enjoy myself playing a Tom Clancy game that isn't Siege. That's quite honestly it. But anyway, as I said before, that's going to be it for this video. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Lunar rainbow flag, happy pride, rabbit with facts. Streamer let's play, take them out like dinosaurs. FNAFN, troll, not the leader of a cult. Rabbit with sax, it's Lunar.